between these two amazing NA players. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Oceanborn, we have our Canadian Protoss, the red Protoss player representing Apprentice Esports. It is DisK. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have his opponent, we have the blue Terran player representing the Cranky Ducklings. He is one of our own. Some know him as the Danger Dolan, but here he is Dirty Dan. And if you're in the chat, predictions are open. Place your bets, Poppy. Place your bets. Predictions open. Place your bets on how you think this series will unfold, on who you believe will claim this. Will it be our Protoss or our Terran? It is up to you to decide. Dolan already popping off against Vindicta in a surprising fashion. Even I'm surprised. Even I was favoring Miguelito, but Dolan popped off. What about against a Protoss player? Now, Dolan reminds me of Honmono. What do I mean by that? He's quite hung. He's Honmono is an animal. Honmono is a Korean Terran player, for those who don't know. And Honmono, he is hyper cheesy against Protoss. And Dolan is very similar. He's got a lot of all-ins. He's got a lot of cheeky builds where he pulls the boys and just sends it on one base, on two bases. Dolan is an animal in the TVP matchup. And I want to believe that in a tournament like the SC2's Safe House, Dolan is willing to spice things up here against DisK. I want to believe. We'll see. We'll see. Catching up in the chat. I would have put all my points on Dolan. Gracias, papi, gracias. That's when we do the Home Story Cup Australia edition, and it's in literal Lighthouse. Let's go. CC in the main. Interesting. So economic opener here out of Dolan, going for the CC in the main base. The Probe Scout does confirm. We cancelled the Gas Geyser as well. Dolan doing his best to try to hide the build. Probe is going to be recalled back home, and DisK does confirm the economic opener. So again, Dolan, he went for a fake Gas Geyser. He was trying to wall off, but the Probe Scout does confirm everything. So far, economic opener. DisK is aware. DisK is safe back at home, going for the gate expand. So we're calming things down. Adept is on the way, and we're going for a take of choice. Twilight Council. Going to be a Twilight Council opener here out of DisK. Soon to be Blink, I imagine. How many gateways? Yet to be determined. We'll keep an eye on DisK to see how aggressive he wants to be with this opener, with this build. But I mean, I guess technically Home Story Cup in Australia was Ozcraft. Technically, we only had the one Ozcraft event though. Maybe one day. I don't know. Australia's quite expensive. Like, it's quite an expensive place. Trying to host an event, flying people over as well. The dream. One day. As for now, CC is being taken. It's a little bit delayed because we have to float it over from further back in the main, as again Dolan was trying to be cheeky, but he was punished for his cheekiness. And interesting, we're following this up with 3 Raxes. It's going to be Rax into factory into second and third Rax. Now, what is important about this build that we're seeing from Dolan is that we are delaying the starport. Big delay on the starport, big delay on any kind of medevac support or drop play, hyper fixated or fast stim. Really fast stim timing here from Dolan. And this is going to hit like a truck. This looks like the beginnings of a 2-base all-in. Doesn't have to be. If we throw down a starport, then we can transition and expand behind it. But otherwise, this is going to be quite an aggressive start here from our Terran player. Aliens move out across the map, applying some pressure, but we do fully wall off. We can focus down the shield battery up. We force a cancel. And, we knock our way through, but the Hellions, they're barely alive. 2 of them get focused down. We do manage to catch a couple of workers here, but not too many. 4 or 5 probes go down. But that was 5 probes for 4 Hellions and a Reaper. A 1-to-1 trade. Not the trade we were looking for as DisK holds. That was a much better trade for the Protoss player, for the defender. Dolan was hoping for a better trade. And we do have a starport. Okay. We have a starport on the way. So even though we're hitting a strong stim timing, we're getting further ahead. We're taking up. Add-on swap, starport on the way. Should be for medevacs to get into drop play. Meanwhile, DisK did open up 3-gate blink into a third. Very safe opener. Very safe build here from DisK. With 3 gateways, we have map control. We can move that across map. We can threaten the bases of Dolan. No bunker in the main, which means if we can get some high ground vision, we can dive into that main base. Speaking of high ground vision, Observer's on the way. Bunker is filled up. Bunker is going to be repaired. Ooh, we do manage to catch a couple of SCVs, but the bunker will hold. And here comes that observer. Again, with high ground vision, we can dive into the main. No bunker in the main base. We are quite vulnerable here. Stim is done, but we don't want to waste them. Every stim is crucial. Every stim is important here as, yeah, we're going for the dive. Blink into the main. SCVs are going down. The army does have to stim over. This is going to be a one-way trip, though. We do trap the army and we force the recall. We get one, we get two. 2 Stalkers, not bad. 2 Stalkers or 5 SCVs. That's an okay trade for Dolan. It's okay, not ideal. Trading minerals for gas. But Dolan stays on a lower SCV count. The observer, I think he sees it, but we don't have a scan. No, we are unfortunately lacking a scan at the moment. So the observer will spot the army. There it is. We have our scan. Shut down the observer. No 3rd CC in sight. 2 more Maxes on the way instead. Big delay on the 3rd. We are moving out. Across the map, DisK, he's already got his own 3rd up. Soon to be up and running. We are in a bit of trouble here. Stalkers, they do dip in. More SCVs going down. Marine's going to be stimming on forward. Forcing back the Stalkers. Going to be committing across the map. We have sentries, we have force fields, we have an overcharge. DisK is ready for this. The force fields get thrown down. We lock down the army. We have the overcharge as well. And with this warp in, DisK should be able to hold his own. I mean, we have a decent chunk of Marauders left over, but DisK has more than enough to hold. Will force us back. He comes in for a surround. Collapses on the Medivacs. Marauders get shut down. We don't even need to focus on the Medivacs. Ay, ay, ay. There's a handful of Marines. Oh, no, never mind. The Marines get shut down as well. Ay, ay, ay. This has been just a rough start here for Dolan. Again, struggling against the Blink Stalker aggression. Even the opener was less than ideal for Dolan as he was trying to bamboozle his opponent, trying to catch DisK off guard, and it just did not work. And things are looking a little bit dire here for Dolan. Especially because still no 3rd CC. No 3rd CC in sight. The longer this goes on, the better it is for DisK. So he has +1. Charge is completed as well. DisK moving on out. Dolan trying to hold on, trying to make a stand. He's got a handful of tanks this time. The observer does spot the move out. And DisK just taking the fight to Dolan. The 2 tanks a little bit too far back. They get a couple of shots off, but we do collapse on the tanks. Voids are being pulled. Tanks, they get completely shut down. And so many workers are falling. We barely had an economy and 19 SCVs go down. Ay, ay, ay. We turn back around and we're not done. We're getting every worker left. 26 SCVs. GG gets called. And DisK takes game number 1. GG. A solid game there at a DisK. An attempted cheeky game from Dolan, but we did mention, just winding it back a little bit if you missed it, Dolan did go for a double gas opener, then he canceled the gas geyser, he hid his CC in the main base further back, but DisK got a full scout. DisK got a full scout of the main base, confirmed the build, confirmed how cheeky Dolan was attempting to be, and because of that, Dolan, he was kind of caught with his pants down a little bit, wasn't able to really deceive his opponents, and likewise, DisK was able to shut him down. But now we're getting into our next game. Getting into game number 2. I want to believe that we can force an ace match. My eyes are definitely on Dolan. What do you have for us? What do you got? Show us what you got. Handful of tanks. 2 tanks? You got 2 fingers, bro? Oh, that's my secret. Only 2, papi. Only 2. Smooge. Smooge. As we are diving in. Here we go. Going to be loading into Site Delta. Oh. Look, how many tanks can you hold in your hand? What are you talking about, Bobby? Oh my god. How small are your tanks? How big are your hands? And here we go, we're diving into game number 2, and spawning in the bottom right hand corner of side Delta, we have our red Protoss player from the land of Canada representing Apprentice Esports. It is DisK. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have his opponent, we have the American Terran player, the blue Terran representing the Cranky Ducklings. He's one of our own, he's down in this series. Let's bounce back. It is Dirty Dan. AKA Dolan, the Danger Dolan himself. I'm ready for it. I'm ready for the comeback. We'll see if we can bring him back here. For the time being, looking like a standard opener, but we'll keep our eyes on Dolan. Now, what I'm concerned about here is how defendable you can be on this map. One of the big features of Site Delta, there's a feature that is not present on other maps, on a handful of other maps, is the ramp. There's a ramp coming into the natural base. This is a feature on Site Delta, on Post Youth, and on Amphion, on those 3 maps, where you do have a little bit of a more defendable ramp, defendable natural base. This used to be more common in the map pool, nowadays less so, but this does mean that if you do have to defend against an all-in on 2 bases, it's going to be a little bit more difficult for your opponent to really break through. 2 base all-ins are deterred because of this. As I say that, double gas opener. Double gas opener out of Dolan, going for a factory follow-up. No SCV out on the map, no proxies whatsoever. Just gonna be, for now, racks into factory. This can lead into Reactored Reaper, can lead into Reactored Cyclone, can lead into a Widowmine drop. We have options. We'll see what direction Dolan takes us in. Meanwhile, DisK is scouting. I don't blame him. Dolan has a reputation. Dolan has a reputation as a DisK. He's scouting. He's looking for any kind of proxies, any kind of shenanigans here from Dolan. Shout out to DisK. He's doing his due diligence here. Likewise, we have a second probe out on the map. Because there's a second worker, this is a little bit inefficient. We do have a second worker now not mining because of this. So a nice little win for Dolan, as clearly he's in the head of his opponent. Reaper does get across the map. Stalker going to be able to force it back. Again, standard opener out of DisK, going for a tech of choice, and it is going to be another Twilight Council opener. Twilight Council into Blink, I imagine. Similar to what we just saw. Meanwhile, we're rushing into an armory. Oh my god, okay. Dolan, he's cooking. Easy, let him cook, baby. Let him. Okay, we're rushing into the armory. Now, if this was the previous patch, I would be like, oh, maybe we're going for like a Widowmine drop, kind of, but there's no Widowmines yet here. I'm curious what the armory is going to be for. This could be for something crazy like a... Do we have it? Yeah, okay. Tech lab on the factory. This could be for like Thor? Like a Thor drop? Are we thinking Thor drops? Maybe? Pappy. Let's go. Up. What is it? No, Widowmine, okay. Never mind. Widowmine into Drilling Claws, I imagine. So, for those curious, yeah, there we go. In the new patch, no longer do you need just the armory for Widowmines to be cloaked, you need Drilling Claws. Drilling Claws is the required upgrade. Because of this, it has deterred this kind of build. In the last map pool, in the last patch, in the past couple of years actually, it was not uncommon to see a Terran player double down and commit into like a quadruple mine drop with an armory, and sometimes end the game. Like, if your opponent doesn't have detection, it could just straight up end the game in your favor. That's how things turned out sometimes. That build has been killed in the new patch, and now you need Drilling Claws, and this is a pretty big deal. What this means is no reactor. Because you need Drilling Claws, you need the Tech Lab, no reactored Widowmines. It means that this drop is delayed, and it hits a little bit less hard than it used to. In saying that, no detection. We have proxy gateway. 4-gate blink. 4-gate blink out of DisK. DisK is going to be hyper aggressive. It's going to be in the face of Dolan. The drop, though, could do a lot of damage. Remember, there's no Stargate, there's no Forge, there's no Robo, there's no detection. There is potential for damage here. At the same time, there's also potential for a big counterattack. Because we're going to have a lot of Stalkers. Like, a lot of Stalkers. So, we're about to get rowdy. We're about to get rowdy. Here we go. We have the drop headed towards the main. Drilling Claws is done. Getting out of Widowmine production. 0 detection here for DisK. How well can he react? How well can he respond? Because of mine drop. No reaction. No. Probe's gonna be going down. A workers in the main base. We have one more shot left for the National. At the same time, we're pushing across the map. We don't even care. We're going for our push. We dive on in. Cyclone gets focused down. Boys are being pulled. Can we hold on? Can we survive? So far, so good. Dolan does force back those Stalkers. Widowmines are on the way. Dolan is looking to hold on. Meanwhile, across the map, 13 probes have fallen, and we are about to reset. We're going to get more mine shots off. DisK is completely all in. Scan to make sure that there is no detection, no observer. First mine shot goes off, getting another Stalker. And DisK has to end the game with this army. There's no other way about it. The Widowmine, sorry, the Medevac. Medevac gets caught out, but additional Widowmines have burrowed. Ooh, we do dodge the shots. Meanwhile, 18 probes have gone down. The economy is almost non-existent. Once again, nice dodge from DisK. More boys being pulled. We can afford to lose them. Remember, DisK is all in. Another mine shot. Ooh, won't quite connect. Widowmines are still amassing. Still building up. Dolan back to mining. Down to 24 SCVs, but he has mules. Yeah, the Widowmines are slowly leapfrog forward. Scan once again. Dolan's so paranoid. Trying to keep eyes on the rotation, but I believe DisK has no high ground vision. Yeah, he has no high ground. He cannot dive into the main. He has to rely on the Adept, on the Shade. The Shade will give him some extra vision here. Blinking forward. Waiting out 3 mine shots. Dolan's... Now, he's supply blocked. Now is not the time. Baiting out some mine shots. Ooh. Decent connections, but we dive on top of the army. Marauder doing what it can. Bunker does hold. Boys being pulled. You do lift those depots. But we avoid it. We head into the main base. More SCVs going down. Additional boys being pulled. A desperation hold here from Dolan. He's so close to holding, but he's losing far too much. Ay, ay, ay. So many SCVs going down. We focus down the Widowmines. Even without detection, it doesn't even matter. We avoid the shots. And it looks like DisK may have just done it. Looks like we have done it here. Even without detection, so many workers going down. We have broken the main. Widowmines are trying to reposition, but we don't have anything left. Ay, ay, ay. Yeah, Blink Stalkers just have so much micro potential. Across the map, again, very little economy, but it's even worse here for Dolan. There was potential. There was potential with this build, and it almost worked. Casito, papi, casito. Almost. Maybe, I don't know, like a second bunker in the main, a third bunker, like double down on just fortifying yourself when you realize that your opponent's all in. There were maybe a couple of adjustments that could have been made. No. I was gonna say, could we force a draw? CC goes down. We could have attempted a draw here, but there's still some saturation and some mining. Another CC under fire. Like, unfortunately, we still have income. Like, as little as there is, as long as we can make a Stargate, we should be okay. The orbital does fall. Widowmines are spreading out. Probes being pulled away. Uh-oh. I'm not sure about this. Okay, DisK has no economy. He cannot kill these buildings. I would have assumed that if he had lined things up in a certain way that maybe... Okay, we still can. Okay, so technically... Oh, as we bleed out a Stalker. So technically, if these Stalkers come back home... Oh, we're chasing down the probes. We're chasing them down. Oh my god. I was gonna say, if these Stalkers come back home, and if they bait out these mine shots to the point where they're all on cooldown, then we can go back to mining, right? Like, we can mine for a little bit, then we pull away, then we bait out the shots again with the Blink Stalkers, then we go back to mining, and then we can make enough for a Stargate. Technically, it's possible, as we do recall back home. We recall back into the main. Again, mining has resumed. If we can mine enough, there we go. Robo's on the way. I mean, that's the way to do it, right? Robo for the Observer. All we have to do is make an Observer and have enough money for it as well. Then we can clean up the mines and we can mine, then we can make a Stargate. Yeah, GG gets GG gets called. And DisK will take it 2-0. He will claim the series. GG. GG, well played. Congratulations here to DisK. Again, there was a very slim chance that Dolan could have forced a draw, and even then, like, it's gonna just be like a weird game where he would have to like hyper micro those widow mines and kill the probes and catch them out, and now we're good. GG, well played. DisK will take it to the 0, but that second game was close. Like, there was a lot of potential with that Dolan build where he did cripple the economy, he did force the all-in. Unfortunately, he barely couldn't survive that. If we had, you know, maybe pulled the boys in different instances, maybe had additional bunkers as well, like there's maybe a lot of little details that could have been shifted there, and maybe Dolan could have held. Regardless, GG. GG, well played. DisK does take it. Congratulations. There's also a world out there where we do force a draw. Like, that's true. That's true. GG, well played. Congratulations here to DisK. With that does wrap up our 4th series of the night. And that means we have 2 series left. 2 series remaining. What do we have up ahead of us? We have, bam, Vindicta, Miguelito versus Trigger in a Terran versus Protoss. Followed by another matchup, followed by, I'll just show it here on screen, Cham versus Dolan.